called in an order. Okay, this is not our first time calling in an order. We usually do it on Wednesdays every week. Okay, this is a Friday night because Wednesday we both work late. We didn't get up here in time, so we did it tonight to get an order. This time, yes, it was wings that he ordered. They messed up our order 4th time in a row that we've ordered from them.
Why keep going?
Honestly, we won't be back. I have no issue. Well, I mean, without that, we had no problem, no plans on coming back up here. But he called up here to Hungry Howie's and spoke to somebody. They put him on the phone with the manager. And the manager got rude with him and got ugly with him and was fussing with him. So, yeah, he got mad. He started cussing at her. I mean, I'll give him that. But she shouldn't have got rude and ugly over it. And the only thing he told her was the next time, put it on the order.
The proper way would have been to take that up with management, corporate, something like that. If
That's what he was going.
Well, instead he came out here and started making a scene.
He just did an audit. That's the only thing he was doing.
But when I pulled up, you saw how he was being. He wasn't going to answer nothing we were saying. We already knew part of the story. He was being belligerent. You can act like he wasn't, but you didn't hear the whole thing. Of what he was saying.
I didn't hear him, but I could see.
And he was resistant.
And he had his phone.
All he did was ask him for his ID. Now, I understand that under certain situations, he didn't have to provide it to us, but he did in this one. We were called here because of him. He told us he was going to come here. So we were investigating the matter that we already knew about, that he told us was going to happen. So we needed to see if it was him. Who's out here doing this, you know?
Yeah.
So the whole thing about not wanting to provide us an ID is wrong. If he had just done that, literally none of this would have happened.
But there is an officer that works with Bonifay PD. She knows who he is.
But we're not. Do we look like that officer, ma'am?
No, you don't.
Well, okay.
But it's not that hard for his description. He's a long-haired redneck Mexican.
Okay.
For Pete's sakes. I mean, he's the only one.
But still, if he would have provided us with his identification, I guarantee you that we would be having.
He probably don't. He may not even have it on him. To be honest,
he could have said that, but that's not what he was saying.
He probably told you he didn't have to.
He did say that.
That's probably what he said because.
And then we advised him that he did have to, and why he had to, and what he was doing wrong.
Which technically, you're only supposed to provide it if you're breaking a law, in which he wasn't really breaking a law, even though they said he was.
If we're investigating something, he also has to provide it.
But also, you're going on what they're saying.
We're going on what also happened when I pulled up. The boyfriend, husband, whoever he is.
He's my fiance.
Okay, well, he already told us he was going to do all this. We're not just going off what they said. We're literally going off what he said to us.
Because he was going to come up here and audit.
Cause a disturbance.
Not cause a disturbance, just do a first
When you're yelling and stuff and videotape,
but
it's a little different than just videotape.
But he doesn't talk softly. He's loud when he talks, and he was doing it over traffic going by, so his phone would pick it up. He wasn't yelling at them. He's not hollering at them. He could care less about them.
Here he comes back with the ID.
And that's fine. But, I mean, to be honest with you, from what I could see, y'all really being rough-handed with him for no reason.
We literally had to carry him to the car.
Only because he wouldn't walk?
That's resistant, yes. So we had to, can you see how we had to be a little rough and pick him up to get him to the car?
I see picking him up, but, I mean, he shouldn't have been detained.
Well, that's your opinion.
Let me explain something to you. By law, when an officer asks you for an ID, you provide that ID. You failed to provide that ID. That is a charge because you are hindering my investigation. They called us up here because they were scared of what was going on. They had no clue of what was going on. A man comes up agitated, starts yelling.
But he wasn't yelling at them.
See it from their standpoint.
I have.
They are 4 women in there by themselves.
Okay.
Okay. He's a pretty big boy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. He's standing out in the parking lot. They don't know what's going on. He's yelling, ranting, carrying on. But that's going to add to it. Let me explain something else to you. Okay. An assault in the state of Florida is verbal, with a means to communicate that threat immediately. Do you understand that?
As long as you do not use the word if. If you put the word if in there, it is not a threat. That was told to me by an officer.
Well, he was wrong. I hate to tell you that.
Well,
The work he is gonna
he
make
works
Well,
with you guys, so you
what's
might
his
want to
name?
have a conversation with him.
What's his name in the back of the car?
Is there a reason I have to give it to you?
'Cause, man,
Okay.
I'm going to book him underneath John Doe. He can sit there till Monday.
I'll
I-
have
I
him
don't
out
care.
tonight.
No,
No,
he
you won't.
definitely will not be out.
Because I'm booking him underneath John Doe because you're failing to cooperate. He's failing to cooperate.
So it's going to take some time to identify.
Christopher Zavala.
Oh, now we get it. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? What was the major problem when we came up with that? Because you guys wanted to be smart alecks and threaten people.
I
Plain
didn't.
and simple.
I didn't threaten anybody, and neither did he. And it's like I just explained to this officer here. He wasn't yelling at them. He was talking
And as I
loudly.
explained-
And
and as
wait
I
a
explained to
second,
you-
please. As he was
How do you
speaking,
spell his last name?
Zavala.
Z-A.
Vala.
What's his date of birth?
8/24/80.
Do you know his social or not?
Nope.
Do you know where he lives at?
With me.
Which is where?
Do I really have to? No. Listen to me.
we're
Will you?
done.
No. There's a reason I'm asking that. What, officer? No. Seriously, there's one reason on my part. I'll meet y'all at the PD. Will you at least let me explain why I didn't want to give you my address? I give you everything else.